back to what we were talking about with like the audition every 3 months and getting comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny too because I think it's a lot to do with repetition. Like I've said this before on the podcast, with commercial auditions at this point, I'm so confident and so throw away with those because I go on them so much.
Right.
And so it's such a weird thing. It's like, I guess class, which I alluded to earlier, is the way to get over that.
Sure.
Where if you only have one theatrical audition every 3 months, if you're doing it in class every week, that's the best way to get comfortable with it.
Right. I think I think also a part of an actor's job is to just keep working on your craft.
Oh, totally.
And so you should always be in a class. Like I don't believe that you need to pay a coach every time you get an audition. I mean, there are some reps that really are like on their clients that you need to coach before this, and I don't know that that's the thing, but I do think staying in class is huge.
Yeah.
You know, well, and it's a community too that you're building with the other people in your classes. Like probably when you moved here 7 years ago, the people that you're friends with now were people that you were in class from the very beginning with.
Very true. Yeah, that's very true. And the thing too is like if you're in a class and you get an audition, you have all these people you can run it with and work with and get different opinions and insights on.
Or they can help you if you have to put yourself on tape.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
you know, you have someone who can read with you, and they also know, you know, that you need to be lit, and we need to be able to hear you, and we need, you know, it doesn't need to be fancy though. It can be your iPhone, you know, turn it sideways. Yeah. And I mean, because our camera actually that is provided by Cast It is a phone.
Is it really?
Yeah. I mean, it's a phone with a lens, like a camera lens on it. Like it's meant to be a camera, but it's a phone. Like if we were to take it out into the world, we could probably use it as a phone.
I've always, don't take this the wrong way, I've always found it very interesting how I go to commercial auditions and they have the computer set up and the big rig and everything. And then every theatrical one I go to, it's so much more relaxed. It's a couch and a camera phone and or maybe an iPad. Right. I've always thought that was so funny because I get, and I understand why it is. The client is so particular in commercial and stuff, but there's so much less, weirdly less formality with TV auditions than there is with commercial auditions.
Right. Well, I mean, you sign in on the iPad. The iPad tells our camera that you're there. So then we, you know, go to you, and it uploads automatically to our computer. So we don't need to be on our computers to see it.
Oh, that's nice.
But it uploads automatically. So as soon as we're done, we can go and look at all the takes. We throw away the ones that are like a misstart or, you know, something that we're like, just throw it away on the camera. And then we look at them and we watch all the takes and we mark them as we're going, like which take we like, but it may change when we're watching it back. Like, oh, you know what? That one was the one.
Are you looking at this? I don't know how you and Dorian work. Do you guys always have one that reads and always has one that films, or do you switch?
Well, Dorian is also an actor. Right. So she's a great reader. I mean, she's so good. I mean, I can read. She's so good at it. Like she's so good at it. I mean, at this point, I get to just sit and watch them.
Gotcha. So
Marlise is on the camera and Dorian is reading.
Gotcha. I was just going to ask, do you ever just stare at the camera or do you just stare at the
I do sometimes stare at the camera. It's hard for me though now because my eyes are going crazy. So
what does that mean?
It means that like
you got cataracts or something?
No, I just can't see the camera without my glasses, but I can't see the actor with my glasses.
Sure.
So
that'll catch 22.
Yeah, and I had like, you know, progressives, but if really tall people come in, I have to like hold my glasses up. So now I just have glasses for close and
you need a lazy boy. Just turn it, push back and lean back and just stare up.
Okay, here we go. All right, they'll be like, what the hell is Sibby doing? That's embarrassing.
I think that's really funny. And talk about a relaxed office. If you're in there in a lazy boy and you got a LaCroix in your hand.
Just going to lay here on the couch and go.
Let me ask you about like co-stars, because I know notoriously they're kind of a harder audition because you have 1, 2, 3 lines and you're there to push other people forward and you just have to be... Like the last theatrical audition I had was a 2-liner, and I worked it to death. Right. Those 2 lines, every variation. But do you have any advice on how you audition, how people should audition for co-stars, or how they mess up auditioning for co-stars?
I mean, I think the mess up is doing too much and making too much with a co-star, like making a meal out of the get out. You know, I mean, it really is, at least for almost everything that we do, it's pretty grounded, and the comedy just presents itself. It doesn't need to be super broad, so I think that the challenge with the co-star is not making a meal of
Right.
the little role.
Right.
So, you know, again, like having some options in your brain is great. But being able to change what you prepared is also great. So like if you come in and you've got, you know, your little line, like it's just off a little bit in tone or tenor of what we're looking for in that episode. And so if we give you a note and we want you to change a little bit and you don't change it at all, like that's probably not going to get you. Not going
You're
to.
trying to put it so politely, but you can just say it. It's
It's
not going to get you called
It's not
back.
going to get you
ever.
sent on to the producer because everything's on tape now.
Right.
So pilots are different. I mean, your producers will be in the room, but that's the only time that your producers are ever in the room